Welcome back. So I'm still here with Sirjohn Berille, the famous French man, now living in the Philippines. Now look at that, John. Now, if I was actually in France, I would be drinking a nice glass of this red wine, obviously. But because I'm in Thailand, can't afford to drink imported wine here. So this is pomegranate juice, I promise. Okay, this is pomegranate juice.
It looks good.
It's beautiful.
A lot of vitamins.
Absolutely. So we were talking about the World Cup of Pool and generally tournaments, you know, the amount of tournaments and how pool is growing now. I'd just like, if we can, to go back to the World Cup of Pool. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, it ran along at the same time as the German Open. So I was watching one on my laptop and one on my phone, but I was really spoiled for choice. So that is another way of looking at it, I suppose. You know, we can watch two tournaments at once now when we never had any to watch a little while ago.
You were following well those two tournaments because you were live, right? You were watching all the videos. For those who do not watch the videos, just look for the their Facebook account. It's quite difficult. I've been to the forum. Pool is not dead, and there was a lot of comments regarding the fact that we cannot find the bracket, we cannot find the draw. If you use the apps for the draw, it's not really clear. And if you look for the link, it's very complicated. If you look at the World Cup of Pool, they were just doing the announcement on Instagram and Facebook for the matches. But if you are a fan like me, and I want to know if my prediction will go well, if my favorite team will go until the end, and which team will meet. That's make me excited,
next,
right? Who's going to play next? It's what makes me watching the event. And I think for any people, for the crowd, we have to think about that point. That the point is, when you look at for any sport, you want to know who's going to meet next, right? I remember the US Open was really clear for that before. Their bracket and their draw. I don't remember which. I think was Q-Score that they were using, but it was super clear. You could have seen from the start until the end what's going to happen, right? And then it was nice. I got confused, and it's both way, because I know Predator has his own tool. World Cup of Pool have their own tool as well.
Yeah, well, Matchroom are using digitalpool.com for all their their scores and stuff, and Predator are using Fargo, which I think is a much simpler display, and it's easy. You just go to probilliardseries.com and then you can click on the event, and it shows you've got choice of where to watch, of the bracket, of results, and all that kind of thing. So, but yeah, it's something that does need working on. Let's just go through, John, the tournament as it unfolded. I don't know how much of it you actually saw, but on day one, we had New Zealand, Argentina, Italy, Canada, Czech Republic, and Australia all went home after day one. And those, okay, apart from Argentina and apart from Italy and the Czech Republic, all the others traveled really quite some distance. But after day one, they were out of it. And
except for the British, for Team A, I will say that it makes sense for me that those teams went home early because they were not the favorite, right? But the British was a big surprise. Jason Shaw and Elliott.
Okay, but you listen to what you just said. You said it was no surprise that they went home. That was in a short race, though, where they have, you know, if you're going to see upsets, you expect to see them in short race formats. But really, there were no real shocks there weren't any, I don't think, on the first day. Day two, well, maybe a little bit of a shock. Hong Kong went in. I forget who beat Hong Kong. I think it was, can't remember anyway, but Hong Kong went out. They were fancied, you know, Robbie Capito alongside Low Sum, you know, they were fancied to go a little way in the tournament. Cyprus, no real surprise, beaten by their neighbours Greece. Netherlands beat Morocco, no surprise there. The real surprise in the first round, I think, was Great Britain B thrashing Great Britain A. You know, served them up a donut, 7-0. Chris Mellin and Imran Majid played absolutely fantastic. Jason Shaw, Jason Shaw goes to the table, but breaks off, scratches on the break, and then that's the last shot they get, basically, or their last easy shot. They really controlled it well, Great Britain B, I thought. Now, just while I'm mentioning Great Britain B, there's lots of people keep asking me, oh, it's not fair that Great Britain, why do they get 2 teams? Very, very straightforward, simple answer. Any country that hosts the World Cup of Pool will get 2 teams. It's as simple.
Oh, it's everywhere. It's worldwide.
Exactly.
For the leagues, right.
So on that point, Matchroom did sort of hint as well. Emily Fraser said that they're now looking at moving some of these tournaments away from the UK. You know, a lot of it was COVID related as well. Let's not forget. So now she did hint that it's going to be spread around the world. So different countries are going to start. So if it goes to the Philippines or Argentina or South Africa, wherever it goes,
It's been for the Philippines for many years. You know, it has been for the Philippines for many years. I think for 2 or 3 years in a row, World Championship, and then 2006 until 2008.
Yeah,
it was in the Philippines. But
I think it was just other countries thinking we're being greedy and making up our own rules, but no, it's not at all. So Netherlands beat Morocco, GB, thrashed Great Britain, Estonia.
So we're not the favorite team, right? They were not the favorite team, honestly.
Who?
Those teams, Morocco. No, I mean Thailand, right? No. So. And then it's race to 7 is 4 inches pocket, a lot of pressure. I was a little bit disappointed by the coverage. I mean, you cannot see really the matches really well. You know, it's display, and in both, maybe in Predator it was well done, but still, you know, there was not the commentary was not as great as I wanted, you know, so I don't know.
Austria may be a bit of a surprise as well. Went down 7-1 to Finland. Okay, Mika Immonen playing with his new, new old partner, I would say. But that
was good for Mika. I was happy for Mika, but yes, it was a big upset for Ushan, because Ushan usually is doing very well, right?
Yeah, well, they've won it twice before as well, of course. Now then, the snooker duo from Thailand, Tepchiranu and Sungkam. They were the replacement for Biardo and Reyes. I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, those guys were there before. So maybe that's the reason why they have been taken. But in the meantime, you have so many other options. Like you can get the women, like Kelly Fisher and Alison Fisher, or Kelly Fisher and Jasmine Ushan could have played together. No, sorry, it's the same country, but you know, could have been also junior, but maybe they were rushing, so they didn't have so much option as well. I don't know.
I honestly think for Great Britain to have 2 teams and not include one woman in either of those teams that's a big mistake. I think they've missed a trick there. When we're trying to get the women's game, get them more coverage, you know, and show how good the women's game is getting. You know, there's some great players out there now. You already mentioned Jasmine Ocean, Alison Fisher, Kelly Fisher. There's Veronika Ivanovskaya. There's Pia Filler. There's
Pia Filler,
There's some great women players out there. And to not have representation in the World Cup of Pool, you know, especially when you've got a B team as well, I think they missed a trick there and should have had at least one woman, or at least, or maybe, you know, even one women's pairing in that. I know they've got other commitments. Kelly was playing, of course, in Germany at the Open, so that could have been.
We could have done with a woman here in the Philippines, because we have Rubilin Amit and the other, and Sheska. They got the gold SEA Games. We just won the SEA Games at this time, so we could have,
wow,
you know, flew to the London, and yeah, unfortunately, it didn't happen.
I think the team that, it was no surprise because everyone fancied them as their favourites, or one of the favourites to go all the way, was Spain, of course. I just thought they were absolutely fantastic, out of this world, perfect partnership, in total sync with each other. Both great players, let's not forget. Francisco Ruiz is a man in form at the moment. He's just playing so well, a bit like Joshua Philly, you know, that they're sort of controlling the singles at the moment in 9-ball, certainly. I thought Ruiz and Al-Qaedi were absolutely fabulous. I described them as a couple of ice dancers, you know, just gliding around the ice in perfect harmony, perfect position every single time. I thought they thoroughly deserved it. A lot of people fancied Shane Van Boening and Skylar Woodward. They fell really short, I thought, against. They started really well. I thought there's no one going to beat these. But then, of course, the Singapore, another great duo. You know, you've got the master, you've got To Lian Hao, and you've got Aloysius Yap, the young and the older experienced guy. I thought they worked really well together. And in a lot of cases, Lian Tao took a lot of the initiative and was telling, you know, he was really giving great advice to Aloysius Yap on some safeties. They played some great safety. And he wasn't bad either when they were attacking. So I thought they were a great partnership as well. Did anyone surprise you, or who really impressed you in that tournament this year?
Well, who surprised me? Actually, I was surprised that Germany fell down, because I thought, because, you know, Filler is on fire, and then my bet was on the Germany and on Spain, because Francisco as well is hot seat at the moment. But the alchemy, you know, you need the alchemy. How do you call this in English? The matchup, the alchemia, or
the symmetry, the
symmetry,
the way
the
they
synergy.
gel, synergy,
Yeah.
synergy, the way they gel together, yeah.
Yeah, the synergy between the players is very important in this kind of event. You have to, I think, for Filler and Thorsten, I think Thorsten tried to play a little bit faster than he used to play before. It's how I saw the thing, and maybe it's one of the reasons when he missed ball that usually he never missed, right? The synergy with Francisco and David is great, because those players, they're always together. I call them the couple, you know, the couple of full. Yeah. And then what I love with their victory the most is the fact that both of them, they try very hard to be on the top, and they never won a world championship title. They always fell. They always fell run-up, or always fell in semi-final, but they always been consistent on the top level, except for the master, of course, for David Al-Qaeda.
I think you're going to see that couple reign, or not, maybe not reign, maybe not win it. I think they could be the first team to win it back to back, though. Whoever won that final this year was going to be a new name on that trophy. And, you know, it's hard to believe, isn't it? It's the first time they've actually won it, Spain. So you mentioned how great they are, the synergy between them, and you mentioned the word couple. I think they need to rename this Scotch couples, because they really were. And, you know, as you know, I go to all the tournaments, and that you always see them together. All the Spaniards are always together. They really are like a team. Even the young guy, Jonas Salto Comino, you know, he's always with them. They're always watching each other's games. You always see them in the bleachers, you know,
supporting each other.
Yeah, and that's really.
We don't have that in all the countries. We don't have that. There's countries, especially in France, for example, we don't have this synergy. It's all individual, you know. That's why we always fail, because we are very individual in France. We are not like, and I think there's other countries is exactly the same. They don't support each other. And you know how they train those people? Because I watch them training, they always, when they train one game each, like in the Scotch double.
Yeah.
So that's their training. So they used to do that, you know. So when they play this kind of event, for them it's easy to play, because it's the way how they train. You know, they don't play against each other. They always play one shot, and they share the shot, they share the thought, and the position, etc.
So champions then, Spain, on to the next tournament. And well, the next one I'm looking forward to is, of course, the Canadian Open. We've got the European Open as well, just before that. Going on at the moment, I want to mention a tournament that's actually starting today in Canada. And it's the ATC, the Ashton Twins Classic. It's a yearly event. This is the 5th one. 64 women competing from all over the world in Calgary at a pool hall called the Hidden Spot. And it's going to be live. You can watch it all free on esports. So follow esports on Facebook. And it starts 11 a.m. Canadian time. So you'll have to find out what time that is where you are. But watch that. Some great players there. Kelly's there. Alison,
I will.
There's some real top players there, all battling for the prize to be the Ashton Twins Classic Champion of 2022. And then, of course, Predator Group have just announced yesterday the resurrection of the Predator World Women's 10 Ball Championship. That's scheduled in Klagenfurt, actually, Jasmine and Albin's hometown. So this, you know, we got the European.
When is it going to be?
That's going to be September 6th till September the 10th. 64 women players, $148,000 prize money. That's in the women's.
I hope we'll have the French champion, Nathalie Romer. I hope she will play. She's a French champion 8 ball. I hope she will join.
Yeah.
How do they do the selection for those tournaments?
Oh, John, you're asking the wrong person there. I don't know. I think it's open to anyone, I believe. I'm not sure. I could be wrong, so I'm not going to answer that question.
See?
And then, of course, after that, you've also in Canada, the same week as the Canadian Open, you've also got the Canadian Women's Open running alongside in Calgary, put on by Grant Zemp there in Red Deer in Calgary. That's going to be the 16th to the 20th of August.
Okay.
Of August. So there's lots and lots going on. So the next one is, well, the ATC is going on at the moment. Then you've got the European Open in Germany. That's going to be the 9th to the 14th of August. Then from the 16th to the 20th of August, you've got the Predator Pro Billiard Series Canadian Open. You've got the Canadian Women's Open at the same time. And then, of course, you've got the World 10 Ball from the 6th to the 10th of September in Klagenfurt, Jasmine and Albin's hometown. So there's lots and lots coming up. Of course, in between that, you've got mixed in that big bowl of pool, you've also got the US Open, there's the Moscone Cup at the end of the year, we've got the Michigan Open, the Ohio Open, the Puerto Rico Open. There's just pool tournaments coming out your ears, John. It's gonna
Nice.
There's just all
Hallelujah.
over the place. A bit like me, it's all over the place. Now then, some other news that I want to get your opinion on. Billy Thorpe, it's just been said that he'll miss the next 2 WPA events because of a drug test that he tested positive for. And I believe it was in Las Vegas last September that drug test took place. He did test positive for THC. Now, in his defense, I mean, look, there's been a lot of people complain, oh, why are they bothering drug testing? And, you know, they're picking on certain players. But it's the IOC, it's the International Olympic Committee that are demanding these tests. These tests are carried out by a third party. I believe they were a European, I think they were Dutch or Belgian company hired by the International Olympic Committee and the WPA to carry out these drug tests. The only defense I've got for Billy Thorpe is, I'll tell you, if they'd have tested me in Vegas for THC, that I would have tested positive again. I never smoke it, I never go near drugs, but it's legal in Las Vegas. And everywhere you went, people were smoking it. You stunk of it. Everywhere you went, you smell of it. So I'm not surprised that he tested positive for it. Anyway, he's got a ban, and it will be, I think there's 6 months less, which will leave him out of the next 2. He can't play in the European Open and he can't play in the US Open. I think that's the 2, but after that, he will be back in. Darren Appleton, of course, another man on a ban. His was just the fact that he got angry because he was chosen twice in the same event, I believe, which is...
yes, that's true.
Now, what's your stance on this, John? Do you like random testing, or do you just think just test them all?
Yeah, my thought for that is, as long as we are not in World Games, it's going to have the World Games, right? Like Olympic.
Yes, that's in Birmingham next month, I believe, July.
Yeah. So for me, it's normal to have some tests, because if we want to have it legit and be part of the Olympics, it's good for the sport. So and in any sport is a random test, so we cannot change their system. My thought for that is good for the sport, but at the moment it's always difficult for the pool player to be banned for a long period, like sometimes even more than in UFC or in a boxing for any test. So, or in tennis, even in tennis. So it's, for me, they took it a little bit too much in terms of ban. I'm thinking of Darren, of course. He paid a fine, plus he got suspended for 3 or 4 events that should give him a lot of money because it's his salary. We don't have to forget that those players do not have other incomes, than pool.
It's not like he bit someone's ear off, is it, or something like that, like Mike Tyson did to Evander Holyfield. It's not quite that bad. I would like to send a message to the people doing the drugs test, though. There's an unwritten rule in pool, in most sports, really. Don't interview somebody just after they've lost, okay? And don't ask for an interview just after they've lost. But on the same level, don't test somebody just before they're about to play. That's just ridiculous. And I think that's what Darren's main argument.
He got both. He got both treatment. They test him just before the game or even during the game. And then the second time after, he lost heel, and one of the best match he did, and he lost against Joshua Fuller.
I don't know how I don't know how they thought he was on drugs. He's always miserable, Darren Appleton, anyway. You never see him smile. Maybe he should take some drugs. I'm just joking, of course.
No, he's not on drugs for sure, but
of course
yeah,
not.
that's sad. That's sad for the fan as well, because we were all. I was waiting to watch Darren Appleton for the World Cup of Pool with Jason Shaw this year, and I was expecting him to win. So it was very sad for that. And then for them, for their motivation, it's very difficult. He had Top became the villain of Pool. If you look, he has been banned for many bad behaviors. It's like he's paying all these bad behaviors now. So, sometimes what happens in the dark comes in the light.
On the other end of the scale, you do need some, you need some players with a little bit of character, a little bit of personality, and it's like Earl Strickland, and we do need those kind of people in pool, and I think it's not so bad for the sport. The ban, I think was a little bit severe, but
severe, yeah, very severe.
Yeah. Well, look, John, unless there's anything else you would like to talk about.
Yeah, I just want to mention that I'm very happy by the outfit of the pool player. I love to do some gladiator shirts before, and I saw that on board. I think it's on board is doing a great job, and then the pool player looks very professional, and it's nice to watch them play with great outfit. Great, it's good for the sport. So I wanted to mention this because it takes time to get good outfit. And then I think we have also a big opportunity with Predator and their new sponsor Alpha, because they are making a lot of tournaments. So hopefully it's good also for the
big thanks to Esteban Robles, of course, for putting lots of money, putting money where his mouth is, right? He's putting a lot of money in through Alpha Coin, which is great to see. And you just mentioned there, spot the t-shirts and stuff that they're wearing, the outfits that they wore. Also, thanks to Damien Pompanic as well, can never get his name right. He's from Jam Up Apparel, and they're doing all the stuff for Predator now. And as you say, it's really nice to see players starting to look good the part, look good, not wearing shorts and flip-flops and just any old t-shirt. They're starting to look good and bringing the game to a whole new level, as are companies like Predator, CSI, Matchroom, of course. And I think it's going in the right direction now, and I'm super excited, and I cannot wait until the next tournament. I'm going to come and see you in the Philippines, John, next month.
Yeah, sure.
In the Philippines. We've got some league stuff to talk about. I'm big into leagues now, and trying to launch some leagues around Asia and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to coming to see you about and to chat about some things like that. And then I'm off to Canada to do some more commentating for CSI Pro Billiard series there in Red Deer. Grant Zemp, get that microphone ready for me. I miss it.
It's where you are the best. It's where you are the best. So you have to go keep it up. That's nice.
Thanks.
Good for you.
John, always a pleasure, mate. You're great.
Me too.
You're great for the game. Lovely of you to join me. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys, for watching. If you've got any questions, if you want to raise any points that you've seen or answer, and come up with your comments. I want to read what you like, and I'm always open to discussion, and I love hearing other people's opinions. So please get in contact with me, and John, of course, he won't mind. Sirjohn Berille, if you want to find him on Facebook, there's his name on the screen. Okay, thanks, guys. Have a great week, and speak to you soon. Take care, guys.